Inside the metal filing cabinet of an abandoned photography studio was a single envelope, yellowed with age, sealed, and labeled in neat block letters. Hartwell, 1999. For 22 years, whatever lay inside had been waiting, untouched. But the contents didn't just shed light on Eliza Hartwell's disappearance. They revealed something no one was prepared to believe. In Part 1, a mysterious postcard arrived in Winslow Harbor. Written in Eliza's own hand, decades after she vanished. We followed a trail to an undeveloped roll of film, showing her reflection in the lighthouse window. In Part 2, that photo led us to a locked room inside an abandoned boarding house, where recent photographs of Eliza, older but unmistakably her, were found. Alongside them, a hand-drawn map marked 3 locations, the third being this photography studio. Now, with the envelope in hand, investigators prepared to uncover its contents. Inside were 2 items. 1. A strip of 3 contact prints from a 35mm camera. 2. A handwritten note in black ink. The prints were dated August 21, 1999, 4 days after Eliza was last seen in public. Each image was dimly lit, as if taken indoors with no flash. The first showed Eliza seated in that same wooden chair we saw in Part 2. Her eyes fixed on the floor. The second showed her standing at the lighthouse window, hands pressed to the glass, her expression unreadable. The third was of a hallway. The perspective suggested it was taken from inside the boarding house. At the far end, a door was open just enough to see a man's silhouette. The note written in block capitals read, "I didn't leave on my own. He says I have to stay until the photos are finished. If you're reading this, I'm still alive. Find the dark room." It was unsigned, but handwriting analysis indicated a high probability it was written by Eliza herself. Investigators scoured the studio for any sign of a hidden darkroom. Behind a stack of dusty enlargers, they found a door almost indistinguishable from the wall paneling. It led to a narrow staircase descending into the basement. Down there, the air was cold and damp. Rusted developing trays were scattered across a long table. In the corner, several cardboard boxes held hundreds of developed photographs, mostly landscapes and portraits. But one box was different. Every photo inside featured Eliza. Some were dated after her disappearance, as late as 2019. In all of them, she was either sitting in the wooden chair, or standing in front of the lighthouse window. No other people were ever visible. In several, the composition was identical, down to her posture and the tilt of her head. As if someone had been recreating the same image over and over, year after year. And then, at the very bottom of the box, was one final photograph. It showed Eliza outside, standing at the end of the Winslow Harbor pier at dusk. Her face was turned toward the camera, her hair whipped by the wind. And in the background, barely visible through the haze, was the faint silhouette of the man in the navy windbreaker holding a leather satchel. That photograph was the last piece of physical evidence in the studio. No records, no negatives, no sign of where Eliza might have gone after 2019. Police re-interviewed the neighbor who had seen the man at the boarding house. This time, she recalled something she had never told anyone. The night she saw movement in the window, she also heard what sounded like the clicking of a camera shutter. Slow, deliberate, repeating at even intervals. As if someone were documenting her. The case file now contains two competing theories. One, that Eliza was held against her will by the man in the windbreaker, possibly for decades, and forced to pose for photographs in the lighthouse room. The repetition of images might suggest an obsession, or an attempt to recreate a particular moment in time. The other theory is harder to explain, that Eliza was free to leave, but chose not to. That the man in the windbreaker was someone she knew and trusted, and that the photographs were part of an ongoing, secret project she never wanted revealed. But if that were true, why send the postcard? Why mouth, "Run," in one image? And plead for help in the note? In the months after the studio search, something unexpected happened. A new postcard arrived at Winslow Harbor Books. Same handwriting, same style. But this time, it wasn't a photograph of the lighthouse. It was a photo of the Winslow Harbor pier at dusk. On the back were just two words. Last one. It was postmarked from a small town over 1,200 miles away. Police traveled there, searched every motel, every side street. They found nothing. No sign of Eliza Hartwell. No sign of the man in the windbreaker. And so, the trail ends, not with a discovery but with a question. If Eliza Hartwell is still alive, does she want to be found? Or has she already moved on, leaving behind only the photographs, and the haunting suspicion that we were never meant to see them? You've been watching Cryptic Stories Vault. What do you think really happened to Eliza Hartwell? Let us know in the comments, and remember, some mysteries are meant to be solved, and some are meant to remain locked away.